Guess what, everybody? It is time to unveil who won, who lost, and where everybody placed in our The Vault from the Stanley Hotel conclusion. Now, I will do a photo that displays all of the bottles and where everybody ranked, okay? And that's just going to be a photo shot for you guys, but as always, this is Double Barrel Podcast, and I'm Chris coming at you with the finale conclusion on Single Barrel Blast, The Vault. Okay. It was an exciting run, and I want to thank everybody, all of you who followed me on this journey. Let's just get right into it here. So we are going to start at who lost and work our way up to number one, so y'all get to stick around for the whole thing. All right, I went ahead and wrote them down because I sent them all back to Utah, and they're all down in my liquor closet now. And a big shout out to my uncle, because a lot of those bottles he bought and they came out of his collection. So thank you, Uncle, and I appreciate your support in this. All right, clocking in at the bottom here, number 12, Bear Creek Wheat. Yep, Bear Creek got the last spot. I think it's just such a young whiskey, and it didn't hit the notes that I felt like it needed to hit. It really struggled. I just didn't feel like it really matched up with the other competitors. It kind of got blown out of the water hard. All right, number 11, it was the Willet 4-year. Okay. It just lacked. It was a 3-note pony, and that was it. We were done. End of story. Just kind of was a flop, in my opinion, for Willet. Nonetheless, though, the notes were good. Again, this competition was super competitive. Okay, number the 10th, Starward. Now, I will admit, Starward is the bourbon that has gone to infinity and beyond. Let me tell you, it really has. It just was a very weird bourbon to me, and it struck good chords. At the same time, though, I'm like, this is a fun bourbon. This isn't one that I'm going to sit and sip on a regular basis or even on a special occasion. This is one if I'm feeling weird or quirky, we're going to dip into here. Okay. That's number 10. Number 9 is High West High Country. Don't get me wrong, the High West High Country was really good. It was probably one of the smoothest single malt whiskeys I've ever had. It just was up against some really, really fierce competition, and it clocked in at number 9, but I still highly recommend picking up a bottle of that if you get the chance. Number 8 was Hidden Barn. Now, Hidden Barn was one of the most naturally sweet bourbons I've ever had. Period. End of story. Loved it. It had great notes, very high corn mix. Again, that's where it landed. Number 7 is the Sagamore Rye Barrel Select. Now, that one, unbelievably good. Good notes, great bottle. And here's the thing, I recommend picking up Hidden Barn and Sagamore if you get the opportunity. Great bottles. Okay, clocking in at number 6, give it up for New Riff. New Riff held strong for quite a while there, and it still is a great bottle. All right, I got a lot of good notes. Just enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would, and it scored extremely, extremely well. Highly recommend that one as well. All right, let's crack into the top 5 now, and we're going to get into the top 5 and discuss them a little bit more in depth, because these are the guys that beat out all this super hard competition here. Number 5, give it up for one of my favorites, Elijah Craig. Now, this was the Elijah Craig Barrel Select Private Barrel, Single Barrel, 9-year. Okay, this guy had so much depth in him. We got butterscotch, cherry, we got some toasted oak on there. We got a good amount of smoke in him. Great follow through on everything. Got a little bit of that, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like a nut bread almost type deal going on. Just a beautiful, beautiful bottle. Highly recommend it. Don't know about the 8-year. I do recommend the 9-year though. I think the 9-year is good juice. Number the 4th, and this was one of our bonus entries, Woodford Reserve Rye. That Woodford Reserve, these sweet rye notes that traveled through the palate all the way through, and then coupled with that beautiful oak smoke note in the back, just amazingly good. Little bit of like candy caramel in there too. Just a phenomenal bottle. No burn, really didn't pick up any huge notes of allspice and cinnamon in there. Just a beautiful bottle. Highly recommend that one. And at $60, it's priced exceptionally well. Okay, the top three. Penelope Toasted. Now, I had to, number 2 and number 3 duked it out for a hot minute, and I had to go back in for another take. The initial barrel crack on the Penelope Toasted was very harsh. Very, very harsh. But after it breathed and opened up, the complexity of the notes on it, it was like drinking a s'more. It really was, coupled with beautiful oak and that beautiful char. It was almost like charcoal, but it was just this beautiful char note that I got with like a cherry and like an apricot note in there. It was gorgeous. I loved it. However, I do recommend, though, if you're going to try and pick up a bottle of it, get the char level number 4. Don't get the number 2. The number 4 is why I think that it just shined that much more and became that much more dominant. And that one was about an $80 bottle, and they're usually around $70 to $80. Definitely worth it. Highly recommend it if you get the chance. Number 2, our runner-up, give it up for the Heart Distillery. Now, when I went back into the Heart, the notes were all there. We got good cinnamon, good allspice, great oak, great smoke, great cherry. I think I actually got a little bit, that was the one I got a little bit of raspberry note on there too. Great caramel, great vanilla, just all throughout, just beautifully smooth, super awesome progressive bourbon. It struck all the chords, all the notes for me. Loved it. Number 1, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Boulder. Okay, Boulder, you have earned a spot in my top 5. I don't know who you're going to replace yet. I'll figure that out when I get home at the end of the month, down to the Tombstone Tavern. Boulder, this bourbon was on a totally different level, and for $80 to $90, gorgeous, gorgeous bottle. Awesome. Dark chocolate cherry notes, beautiful oak, beautiful smoke. Great, even got some great toasted notes in there. The candy caramel notes coupled with a little bit of that allspice and nutmeg, just seamless transition through the entire bottle. It was amazingly beautifully gorgeous. I loved it to death. And I can't even express how much, the Boulder just blew everybody out. That Boulder I think we did on episode 2, it set that tone, and no one else was. The only 2 that even came close were Heart and Penelope, but Boulder, it's like they were here, Boulder was here. It was such a big gap. And once I tried that Boulder, and I went back and tried it again, I'm like, it's going to be so difficult for anybody to match what this bourbon is doing and how it is dancing on the palate and the notes and the chords that it offers. But it's not a beginner bourbon. The top 3 are not beginner bourbons. They're very complex bourbons. You've got to have some experience on them. Anyway, folks, I want to thank all of you so much for joining me on The Vault from the Stanley Hotel special miniseries from Double Barrel Podcast, Single Barrel Blast. I'll be posting the video with the results on it as well. You all stay safe out there. I hope you all had a great Monday. I'll see you back here next time tomorrow on Double Barrel Podcast, Single Barrel Blast. Always remember, never drink and drive, never mix your guns and alcohol. We'll see ya.